Dearly beloved, do you know that for a long time, people imagined that the earth was in the middle of everything and that the sun, moon, and stars all went around the earth? This was the impression until a man named Copernicus said, "What if the sun is in the middle and the earth goes around the sun instead?" Before Copernicus, most people believed in an earth-centered universe. This was called the Ptolemaic model. They thought the earth did not move at all, and everything else circled the earth. What Copernicus changed is that he said the sun is at the center of our solar system. This is a sun-centered or heliocentric model. The earth is a planet that travels around the sun just like the other planets. Earth also spins like a top once every day, which makes day and night. This was a revolution. Not just because planets move in circles, but because it totally changed how people saw the universe. It was like turning a picture upside down and realizing you had been looking at it the wrong way all this while. Centuries before Copernicus, God in Christ became a human being and opened our eyes to the type of people who attracted God's attention. He showed it was not the high and mighty or the powerful who attracted God's attention, but the often ignored and forgotten. As Paul would say in 1 Corinthians 1:26 and following, God chose the foolish of the world to shame the wise, and God chose the weak of the world to shame the strong. And God chose the lowly and despised of the world, those who count for nothing, to reduce to nothing those who are something, so that no human being might boast before God. You would recall that Tiberius Caesar was the Roman emperor during Jesus' public ministry and crucifixion. Pontius Pilate served as prefect or procurator of Judea, and he had authority over capital punishment, including Jesus' execution. Herod the Great ruled as king of a larger territory at the time of Jesus' birth, after which his domain was divided among his sons. One of these sons was Herod Antipas, who ruled Galilee and Perea as tetrarch during Jesus' ministry. Galilee, where Jesus grew up and preached, fell under his jurisdiction. Based on the Beatitudes in today's gospel, none of these wealthy and powerful men were at the center of God's focus. Who then was at the center of God's focus? Like Copernicus, who showed that the sun and not the earth is at the center, Jesus gave us a Christocentric revolution in Matthew chapter 5. He said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, those who mourn, the meek, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, the merciful, the clean of heart, the peacemakers." Apart from Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, is there any other human being who can serve as an example of someone who embodied many of these virtues? I would like to give you an example of someone from the Old Testament. Please tell me who he is when I finish describing him. This person performed many acts of charity for his kindred and his people who with him had gone into exile to Nineveh in the land of the Assyrians. His kindred and the ancestral house of Naphtali sacrificed to the calf set up by King Jeroboam of Israel. But he alone went often to Jerusalem for the festivals. This person would give his food to the hungry and his clothing to the naked. And if he saw the dead body of any of his people thrown out behind the wall of Nineveh, this man would bury it. One night, the fresh droppings of sparrows on the wall fell into his eyes and produced white films. The more physicians treated him, the more his vision was obscured until he became completely blind. For 4 years, he remained unable to see. Eventually, he regained his sight through the help of Archangel Raphael. Who was this man? You are right. That was Tobit. Tobit. Be like Tobit. Let us emulate the virtues exhibited by this man. And may I request that we read that beautiful book. You would enjoy it. You would really enjoy it. I would suggest we go through the book of Tobit and know more about him. But more importantly, let us emulate the virtues Jesus spelled out in the Beatitude. Blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you and utter every kind of evil against you falsely because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven. God bless you.